Episode 4, Kansas, Carry On Wayward Son. The song that possibly almost never happened. Um, Today's a good one. This coincidentally is the first CD I ever purchased. So honestly, I love this song. I love this band. Intro. What is audiology? Frankly, I just thought it sounded cool, but it turns out it's a real thing. But we're not here to talk about hearing and balance. We're here to talk about music. We're here to talk about bands and artists that we love. We're talking about studio recordings, live performances. Who knows? Maybe we'll talk about concert production, audio and lighting. Basically, all the things we love about the bands we love. So let's go. Carry On Wayward Son from Kansas, from the album Leftoverture, 1976. So is it overly dramatic to say the song that almost never happened? Not so much. I mean, in the documentary, Kansas documentary, which was so good, Carrie Livgren, the author of this song, had been talking about how the band was in a rehearsal space, and they had gone in, by the way, without any songs written. So they were really under the gun and feeling pressure. So they wrote a song a day, basically, and rehearsed, and they thought they had the album, and they were literally packing up to move to the studio they would record in when Carrie came in with this song that he, as he sort of said, was beamed into his head. The band heard it, they loved it, but they thought, you know what, this probably won't be a hit. We'll put it on the album because we love it, but it's too long, 6+ minutes. The rest is history. This song really broke the band, this album. This song went 6 times platinum, so 6 million copies. It didn't end up being their biggest selling song. That turned out to be Dust in the Wind. But this song put them on the map. This song has hooks, hooks, hooks. 3 hooks that I can think of, and it is just an amazing sounding song. This is in the old days with analog recording and big studio budgets. So a band went into a studio and they had to know what they were going to do. It cost money. This is back in the days of analog tape machines, and you could punch in, but there was no cut and paste, at least not with the mouse. You literally had to cut with a razor blade and tape together audio tape. And this is 24-track audio tape. It required precision and skill, and like I said, the money that was there in the old days, you couldn't record on your laptop, and you couldn't make a studio quality album unless you were in a studio. A lot of things happened. Of course, this is the mid-'70s, and there were tons of rock bands. This was the heyday, in my opinion, of rock and roll. And these bands, the albums that were produced in the mid to late 70s are just an epic list of artists and albums. Today, this is a favorite of mine because, like I said, it was the first CD I ever bought. It turns out I was dating someone who her roommate, for whatever reason, boyfriend bought her a CD player, and it was sitting there in a box. And one day she said, "Hey, can you hook it up for me?" I said, "Sure." And we hooked it up, and what are we going to play? No one had any CDs. So I went to, I forget what store it was. They didn't have a big selection, but there I found Kansas Leftoverture sitting there. And ever since, I have loved this album. It is a great recording. In my opinion, it's one of the best recordings. All analog, of course, back then, but it's clean, it's precise. The mix is just spectacular. And the voice, Steve Walsh, come on. One of the greatest voices in rock and roll history, certainly in the top 25, and that's saying a lot. So without further ado, let's get it. Here we go.
Carry on, my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
Imagine sitting in your car, radio, this comes on, bam, right in your face. Come on.
Carry on, my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
Hooks. We talked about hooks. You have that first singing, that audio hook. But then there's this. And, not to mention, this.
Once I rose above the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse beyond this illusion. I was soaring ever higher, but I flew too high.
Steve Walsh.
Though my eyes could see, I still was a blind man. Though my mind could blink, I still was a madman. I hear the voices when I'm dreaming. I can hear them say, carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are gone. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
Isolate drums and bass, rhythm section. Because honestly, to me, this is what drives most songs. Here we go.
Masquerading as a man with a reason. My charade is the event of the season. And if I claim to be a wise man, well, it surely means that I don't know.
Isolate the vocals again.
On a stormy sea of moving emotion, tossed about I'm like a ship on the ocean. I set a course for winds of fortune, but I hear the voices say,
So clean.
on the stormy sea of moving emotion, tossed about I'm like a ship on the ocean. I set a course for winds of fortune, but I hear the voices say, carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are gone. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
Drums and bass. Rhythm section, heart and soul of any band. Hammond solo. vocals again.
Terry-O, you will always remember. Terry-O, look at equal the splendor. Now your life's no longer empty. Surely heaven waits for you. Carry on, wayward son. There'll be peace when you are gone. When you're weary and to rest, don't you cry. Don't you cry,
That man can sing. Kerry Livgren guitar solo. Let's hear that all together. Carry On Wayward Son, honestly, that, in my opinion, is a work of art. The vocals, the hooks in that song, you could just pick any one of them. I believe when they presented it to their record label, their manager first had said, this is like hook after hook after hook. And that's what you were looking for, obviously, in any song, even today, something that people remember, can sing or can hum. That's memorable, and this song is memorable. But also, this is a band of musicians. All of them are quite competent at their instruments, and Steve Walsh's voice, come on. The combination, Kansas, this is back when bands, well, they still do, but bands worked hard. These guys, before they got to this album, the documentary talks about a lot of driving in a bus, freezing cold, long distances, all cramped in together. This was it's not all fame and fortune, and most bands put in a ton of effort, and they may or may not ever break, and still put in the same effort. This song, this band, this album, this was the launching point for these guys, and well deserved. This song, again, it should be up there it's up there in my top 50 for certain of best songs ever, partially because of the talent, of course, the voice, but also I talked earlier about the production quality. It is a clean, well crafted, well played, well recorded, mixed mastered, all of it. And the fact that I first got it on CD and it sounded amazing says a lot for the original recording. So hope you liked today's episode. More to come. I'm out.